Hello, everybody. Chris with Night Living Card Games back again to, I believe, wrap up my Legacy of the Ancestors campaign for Earthborne Rangers. Today is day 20, and day 19 basically said if you don't get it done today, it ain't happening. So, got everything set up. I ended up at Talpid Squeeze. Wasn't able to get down to the cage to try to do anything. So, we're stuck there right now. And let's see what the day brings, shall we? Let's see here on this day. If you are not at the cage, go to 196.7. Well, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get there. So, if you are located on Stratum 3, which I am, you're startled awake by the roar of an earthquake. The ground shakes as you grope in the dark for something to hold on to. The chamber rumbles again, and you hear the sound of falling rock echoing up from below. As you nearly lose your balance, you feel a sudden and urgent need to escape. If you can reach an area above the arcology's lowest substructure, you think you might be safe. You shudder to think of what might happen if you don't. Complete all story and interlude missions. Record unknown fate in the campaign tracker and gain the escape mission. Okay. Those are gone. Let me record unknown fate. All right. And here we go. We've got the escape mission. What does it say here? The heart is dead. The arcology is collapsing around you. Escape to the safety of the arteries before you are buried. So it has 3 locations: severed artery, branching artery, terminal artery. If I end the day, it tells me to read something. And if you arrive at any one of those locations, read a different thing. And we've got some challenge effects there. So I'm at Talpid Squeeze. So I got to run up to Carbon Ford. I got to get out of here, dig through some debris and get out of here. And then run up to the Carbon Forge maze and then get out of there to go. Okay. All right. Let's see here. We've got everything set up. I kept the repellent spores out there as a setup, but apparently I don't need it. So let us. We've got quiet. We've got a door opener. Stout-hearted guardian, good. Deliberate, good. Ranger badge, good. And vaulting rod. Okay, so we're definitely keeping these. I'm going to cheat a little bit because I know I've been here before. I'm just trying to see what is it. It's focus plus that. So we're going to keep quiet just maybe for some icons. And then we do 2 more. All right, so Cordo's instinct and following footsteps. Alrighty. All right, so I gotta clear the debris and then travel 2 locations to get through this mission. And if I don't do it today, something tells me I'm going to be buried alive down here. Or buried dead. Who knows? It'll collapse on my head. And I will join the Estian spirits down here. All right, arrival setup, draw a path card. It is Cal Ivor. What are you doing here, Cal? You're going to be running around with me as well. Okay, so this comes in with the 2 debris. We got to do that test. All right, then. Let us start up. Oh, I don't need the spirit speaker test out here anymore. Not going back into the spirit realm. All right, let us spend 2 spirit to get the stout-hearted guardian out. We're going to do... You know what? Let's just... We're going to pitch, as much as I like both of those cards, Following Footsteps and Cordo's Instinct. We are going to pitch them both to get the icon. So we're going to do this focus plus conflict 2 test. So I'm a 5 versus a 2. I succeed, so I get to remove debris for 1 debris for every 2 effort. I have effort of 5, so I get to remove them both. All right. That's exactly what I needed. Okay, Blue Mountain. Blue Mountain, we are in Glitter Rain. All test areas are illuminated. And now because of this, I don't have to do that. So let's... Ooh. You know what? We got to get out of here. I'm going to pitch the Ranger badge because it's got 2 exploration icons. So I'm going to do 2 fitness and 2 exploration. So 4 versus a 2. -1, I succeed with 3 progress. That is enough. It's illuminated. There's no debris on it. So, perfect. We are going to end our turn. Let us try to get out of here as fast as possible. So we are going to rest. We have enough progress to travel, so we are going to travel. We are going to choose to travel up the fungal forest path to the carbon forged maze. So I will pause here while I set things up and be right back. All right. Real quick, I do realize that when I did the traverse test, I did not pay attention to the mission for the blue. The 2 tests I did, it was add 2 damage to an active feature. The only active feature that was out was the overgrown passageway, which does not have a harm threshold, so didn't impact the game at all, but did want to call that out. So we're at the carbon forged maze. So, as a reminder, as you move through the arteries, you come across gusts of warm, moist air rising up from shafts you spot beneath them. When you eventually find a stairway running down one, you begin to check it out. The further you go into the shafts, the warmer and wetter the air grows. However, when you touch the walls, they feel dry. Soon, the stairwell opens into a labyrinth network of dark, cramped passages run through with pipes, wires, conduits, and ducts. You can't be sure, but they all seem to be meandering downward, leading to some deep heart of the arcology. Literally, deep heart of the arcology. All right. So on arrival, lead ranger draws a path card. 1 presence, 5 per ranger progress threshold. But it says, when you traverse this location, reduce the amount of progress added by 1 unless your ranger token is on this location. And we can take an awareness test to put our ranger token there. Let's see, what do we get? We get a veiled mushroom, and it is an obstacle. Okay. All right, so now we do our refresh, put our energy back, draw a card, expedition logbook. Top of the round, we draw a card. We get, thick air. As you reach a lower spot in the tunnel, your vision begins to blur and your head begins to throb. Solara warned you about this. Certain heavier gases can settle into tunnels and become toxic. You reflexively cover your mouth and nose. You choose. Turn back. Discard all progress from the location. If no progress is discarded, you suffer 3 fatigue. Or continue forward, holding your breath. Add progress to the location equal to the number of cards in your hand, then place your hand on top of your fatigue stack. Ooh, that is interesting. Oh, it's tempting to take that, but that stinking veiled mushroom thing there, I really want to get the vaulting rod out for that. So I guess I will discard all progress from the location. Since there was no progress discarded, I suffer 3 fatigue. 1, 2, and 3. All right. First action, I'm going to get the vaulting rod down. Comes in with 2 vaults. Second, I will spend... I will spend a spirit to put a token on an aid card, which is Volstaff, and recover a Fatigue. Okay. I am now going to use the vaulting rod to exhaust an obstacle, which is that. I'm now going to try this test. Awareness plus that. So we will... I'm going to pitch quiet here. So I am a 4 versus a 2. -1, I succeed, so my ranger token goes on here. All right, Blue Mountain. I'll remember this time. Everything is illuminated, nothing here. Here. Add 2 damage to an active feature or being. There are no active features or beings at the moment. And that's exhausted, so done. All right, I'm going to try to remember my ranger training. 1 versus 1. 0, I succeed, so I can look at the top card of my deck. Gauze Blade. Now we're going to put that on the bottom. Draw a new card. It's quiet again. All right, that is that turn, or that is that. Red crest, nothing does the red crest, so we are going to be done here, I think. Yep, we're just going to rest. Cannot travel, don't have enough there, so we are going to recover, or refresh phase, compassionate. Top of the round, draw a new card. We get a Ravenous Selenok. Okay. So let's see here. So let's use the vaulting rod to just exhaust this. Yeah, we're going to spend 1 awareness to play my sketchbook, which is going to kick out my repellent spores since I'm not going to be doing anything with that anymore. Comes in with 2 sketches. I will exhaust and use both sketches to exhaust that. We're going to exhaust my Ranger card and spend an awareness to put a token on an aid card, which is Vaulting Rod, and recover a fatigue, which is Cordo's Instinct. I am now going to attempt to traverse 3 versus 1. 0, I succeed with a progress of 3. Red crest challenge effect. Nothing out here is active with a red crest, so I don't need to do that. We're going to try to remember our ranger training. 1-1. Hey, I succeed. Follow in footsteps. It's an interesting, but I'm going to pitch it because I'm looking for traverse icons or explore icons here. Gauze Blade does not do it for me, but okay. All right, Blue Mountain, everything is illuminated. Add 2 harm to an active feature or being. There are none. So I am nothing to do with that. So let's try to connect with this Ravenous Selenok. Let's see if we can get rid of it. So we are going to go 5 versus 2 here. Oh, nice. +1. So that is 6 progress on it. And that clears this bugger out. All right. All right, Yellow Sun. So Yellow Sun is add 1 runoff and suffer a fatigue. This mission says, if there are fewer than 1 per ranger shifting rubble in play, yep, because there aren't any, search the general set for shifting rubble and put it into play. Well, could be a problem. Shifting Rubble. Shifting Rubble is a 1 presence, 3 harm, 6 per ranger progress obstacle. And while this feature is attached to another card, progress cannot be added or moved to that card. And then Blue Mountain effect. If this feature isn't attached, it collapses. Attach this feature to the path card with the highest presence. If you can't, suffer 1 injury. And Red Crest is add 1 harm to the attached card. Okay, it just says put it into play, so it just comes in like this. Unfortunately, it does mean we have 2 obstacles here, which is annoying. All right, so I am going to end my turn. I have no energy, so I'm going to rest. And I can't travel yet, so we are going to refresh. Draw a card. Logbook. That's all well and good, unfortunately. Let's draw our top path card. We got a Burdened Archelon. Enter play, search the path deck and discard for the next flora and attach it face up. All right. That is not. That is not. That's not. The Shadow in the Darkness. Okay, so that is... We're looking for a flora, right? Yep, so that is the Poison Mushrooms. Oh, perfect. Shadow in the Darkness. That looks very ominous. Haven't seen that card come up yet. All right. All right, my turn. Ugh. So, problem is that I have 2 obstacles. I'm not as concerned about taking a bunch of fatigue because I only need 2 progress on here to get out. My concern is the fact that I've got 2 obstacles, so I can't do anything about it. What I can do, however, is I'm going to do my sketchbook test. I'm going to try to sketch the Shifting Rubble because it's so pretty. So I'm going to do an awareness plus a knowledge test. So 2 versus 1. Oh, no. Yeah, 2 versus 1. Oh, I got to shuffle this up. So the plan is hopefully I'll get 1 sketch on that. So then my sketchbook can exhaust the Shifting Rubble and the Vaulting Rod can exhaust the Veiled Mushroom, and then hopefully I'll be able to get the last 2 progress I need on that. So let's see what happens, though. Okay, so that was an awareness test. That is a +1. I do succeed, so I get to add sketches equal to that item, that feature or being's presence. Right, blue, everything is illuminated. Let's see, what does this say? If there is an active prey, exhaust it. There is no active prey. Nothing on that guy here. If this feature isn't attached, oh no, it collapses. Attach this feature to a path card with the highest presence. If you can't, suffer 1 injury. Okay. So, the Burdened Archelon is burdened because it's carrying a bunch of poisoned mushrooms, and now it's been, rubble has collapsed on it. Right, this one, if there's an active prey, exhaust it. Let me just make sure. This is a predator, right? Not a prey. Yep. So, none of that. All right, even though it's attached, Let me check. I think I can still exhaust it. Okay. The card's attached face up. It's considered in play. When you interact with any other cards in play, cards attached to your roll, on rare occasion. Okay. So, attachments, path attack. Okay. I mean, it's considered. I think I can do this. And we'll do the delightful rule here and assume that I can do this. So I will exhaust my sketchbook and use one sketch to exhaust the shifting rubble. I am then going to exhaust the vaulting rod, use a vault to exhaust that veiled mushroom. Going to exhaust myself and spend a spirit energy, put a charge back on the vaulting rod, recover a fatigue, and it's Pakoto. So I am now going to use Pakoto, my expedition logbook, and 2 fitness to try to traverse. So I am a 4 versus a 1. And this is going to fatigue me 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. -1. So I succeed with a total of 3 effort. So that puts progress up to 6. Red crest, nothing, nothing, nothing. Here, though, if you have 1 or more fatigue, I do. The Archelon snaps at you. Suffer an injury. So all these cards go away. So the Stout-Hearted Guardian does allow me, when you would discard your fatigue stack due to an injury, discard this tail instead, but that's okay. All right. Hopefully I only have to get up to level 2 today. All right. I am going to end my turn. I'm going to choose to rest. I have enough progress to travel, and the 2 obstacles are not active, so I can travel. So we will be traveling up to the terminal artery through the flooded ruins set. So I will get that set up and be right back. All right. I have arrived at the terminal artery. The arterial system here ends in a large cavern. Where the suspended track terminates, you see a towering structure. What purpose it serves you cannot tell, but judging by the many stairs and interior chambers, it must have been a place of great activity in the ancient past. Here marks the breadth of the Estian subterranean expansion. You wonder, why did they choose to end here? Are there other narrow passages leading farther east beyond the mountain itself? And since I traveled here from the Carbon Forge Maze, as you cross the threshold into your destination, a massive door slams behind you. Try as you might, you're unable to open it back up. You'll have to restore power to the door in order to descend via that same passage. Search the general set for the locked passage and put it into play. Okay, there we go. And the terminal artery says to pick 1 card at random from the artery set and shuffle it into the path deck, which I have done so. And on arrival, the lead ranger draws a path card. I have, and it is a veiled axolotl tech. Actually, I suppose before I do that, I need to read this thing, actually. So, when I arrive, 1.131. The passageway groans and shakes around you, but ahead you see the distinctive hatch leading into the arteries. With a final burst of effort, you run as fast as your legs will carry you and leap through the hatch as the tunnel behind you collapses with a roar. Slowly, you stagger to your feet. Rock dust fills the air. You peer back down the passageway from which you came, and sure enough, it's completely collapsed and filled with debris. There will be no returning to the lowest level of the arcology. As you catch your breath and the tremors subside, you grow increasingly confident that you're no longer in any immediate danger. You sit down heavily and breathe a sigh of relief, for soon you'll be back on the surface, and in this moment, you feel that day cannot come soon enough. Complete the escape mission. Right? All lower levels of the arcology have completely collapsed. Record Stratum 3 lost in the campaign tracker. You can no longer travel to Stratum 3 map. Gain the final ascent mission. All right. Let me do a couple of these things here. And then what is this one? What is the new mission called here? The Final Ascent. Okay, added that, and now I have to say Stratum 3 lost. Stratum 3 lost. Okay. So we've got that. Is that just... Nope, that is not. Alright, let's go find that mission. The Final Ascent. No. There we go. All right, the Final Ascent. It is time to return to the chimney, gather up the expedition, and return to the surface. Arrive at the chimney is that mission. So let's take a look here. So we are at the terminal artery. We've got to get up to the chimney so we can go up to the Scuttler's Network, then the Oasis of Sunlight, and then chimney. In the meantime, however, we first have to be ambushed. So we're going to fatigue 2, 1, 2, and then injury will also hit us as well. So flip that over. It is a 2 presence, 3 per ranger progress threshold, and on refresh, randomly shuffle one of the remaining artery set cards in there. All right, so we've completed the travel phase. Now we're on refresh. So let's just get everything here first. We'll draw our card, which is a bold. Okay, now we take a random card here, shuffle it in. All right. All right, then let us see what we can do about this, shall we? We are going to try to avoid this veiled axolotl attack. So we are going to be a 4 versus a 2 on an awareness test. 0, I succeed. So he is exhausted. Red Crest challenge effect, nothing active. Let us exhaust ourselves. We will spend our focus energy, put a token on there, recover a fatigue. It is a ranger badge. Okay. Sure, why not? Let's spend 2 to get my ranger badge out. We will then immediately use a ranger badge to ready ourselves up. And then we'll exhaust, spending the last spirit to put a charge back on the badge and recover another. Cassendi technique. All right, let us try to traverse. I've got a bold and 2 fitness, so 4 versus 2. +1. I succeed with a total progress of 5. Total effort of 5. Right. Now, Yellow Sun. I suffer fatigue. We got here 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we are going to keep ourselves going here. So I have no energy left, so nothing left for me to do. I am going to rest, and because I'm injured, I will lose a card to fatigue. And I'm going to choose to travel. I have 3 cards left, so I'll have like 2 turns to try to do it. So I will be traveling, as I mentioned, up the flooded passage to the Scuttler Network. So I will get that set up and be right back again. All right, we have arrived at the Scuttler's Network. Let's see, it's been a while since I've been here. Let's see what it says about the Scuttler's Network. The tunnels you've been walking through have seemed much rounder and rougher than most Estian constructions, but you don't put the clues together until you step into a larger junction of tunnels and the dry, musty scent of spindle scuttlers fills your nose. You must be in an underground network of the tunnels. They bored through the rock, and based on the gouges left in the tunnel walls by their mandibles, these spindle scuttlers are big. If you traveled here from the terminal artery, which I did, you leap down to your destination from an elevated passage that was not submerged. Unfortunately, it's too high and too slippery to climb back up. The only other route is completely flooded. If you wish to descend again from here, you'll have to find a way to breathe underwater. Search the general set for the flooded passageway and put it into play. Doesn't matter, we are not going backwards. All right, that was... Oh, no. And on arrival, lead a ranger, search for the next predator, and put it into play. Okay, I guess that is it. A mutated Galgathrop. All right, well, let's read his passage here first. 147. Your nostrils are filled with a dank and moldering odor, something rotten, like decaying meat. Then the darkness beside you seems to spring to life, and you're hit by a blast of hot, rancid breath. A massive bulk surges towards you, its distended maw hanging open and ratty tentacles whipping at your head. You hear a wet, gurgling growl from somewhere deep within his chest. Clear the mutating Galgathrop with progress while each ranger token is on it to gain a greater understanding of it. Right. It is a presence of X, where X is equal to the number of mutations on this being. It comes in with 1 mutation, has 5 harm threshold, 7 progress threshold. It has a test on it, awareness plus compassion to comprehend against 3, to comprehend what your eyes are seeing, to move your ranger token to this being. And if you clear it with progress, you read this. All right. Well then. Well, let's ready everything back up in the refresh phase. Draw a card. We get a deliberate. And let's get ourselves going here. Oh, he comes in with 1. All right, we're going to exhaust our ranger token. We're going to spend a spirit energy to put that on that and recover a fatigue. My Emberling. Okay. We're then going to use our badge to ready ourselves up, and we are going to do the exact same thing again with the same spirit energy. The door opener. Okay. We got a small chance we can get out of here, right? All right, we are going to try to sketch the mutating Galgathrop with my sketchbook. 2 versus 1. 0, so I succeed, so I can put 1 sketch on it. Red crest, nothing, nothing, nothing on the mission, nothing here. Here, if you have 3 or more fatigue, which I no longer do, exhaust this being and suffer an injury. Well, that is all fine and dandy. We are going to exhaust this, spend a sketch to exhaust the mutating Galgathrop. Yep. We're gonna chance it. We're gonna go 2-2 to try to traverse here. Oh, +1. Where'd that come from? All right, awesome. So that succeeds. All right, Blue Mountain Challenge Effect. Everything is illuminated. That's fine. This. If within reach is not illuminated, it is illuminated now thanks to the glitter rain. Let me just verify that is what it says. Yep, for the remainder of this test, all areas count as illuminated. Nice, so I don't have to do that. And that is exhausted, so all right. I am done there. I am going to rest, which fatigues me 1. And, well, no, I think, let me check real quick. I think it happens on the refresh, not on the rest, but let me just double check that. Because that will matter for the next. Okay. So, for each injury you suffer 1 fatigue during the refresh phase. So, okay. So the refresh. So that does matter. Okay, so I can travel. So I'm going to rest. I don't have enough to travel, so now we're in the refresh phase. So now this triggers. Now we ready everything up. Get our energy back. Draw a card. Follow in footsteps. All right. Now we draw a card. Oh, no. Well, there we go. Day is done. Veiled Axolotl attack comes in, ambushes me. I have no cards left, so sadly, that ends my day. But that's okay. I got out of the most dangerous part. And I survived, so now I just have to come back tomorrow, go up to the Scuttler Network, and then over to the chimney and work on getting my way out of here. So, all right, well, I wasn't able to save the heart, but let's see what ends up causing me once I get back to the surface. So I guess I still have a day or 2 left in me on this campaign, but if you made it this far, as always, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. I will be wrapping this one up soon, and then I will probably move back to Marvel Champions, at least until Arkham Chapter 2 comes out. But that is for another day, my friends. So thank you for watching. Appreciate it. I hope everybody has a great evening.